This is Would Evie Drive It, a tiny little show on our channel where we let Evie judge the cars.
Would I drive a VW Taos?
Fino, but first, information explosion.
I think I said it wrong.
Taos?
Taos?
Taos house. This video is just going to be like 15 minutes of us going, Taos? Taos? Taos?
It'll be great. Everyone will love it. Let's start things off with emotion factor.
Sweetie, are you moved by the style of the Volkswagen Taos?
I love a car that reminds me of a toy, and I think in this color, it does that. I think in a more sedate color, I might not be very excited about it. I do like the little black pieces of plastic that curve in the front, even though they are shiny black plastic.
Yeah, but you don't have to like rub your body oils on it, so we don't mind them in that context.
That's helpful.
What about the interior?
If you're tired of shiny black plastic, may I introduce you to the wonders of shiny gray plastic?
Whoa! It's like the same stuff, but a little bit lighter.
How about shiny rainbow sparkly plastic?
I would be super into that.
Would you like shiny rainbow sparkly plastic? Tell us in the comments. So yeah, do you enjoy this interior? Does this please you?
Whoa, I think you're getting a little upset about it.
Yeah, leave me for the interior, won't you?
I just tooted. Pardon me.
If that's the kind of comedy you want to see more of, be sure to like and subscribe.
The interior is laid out in a really user-friendly way. I tend to like less expensive cars because their HVAC controls tend to be a little simpler, a little more intuitive to operate. So this is in the space of vehicle that I typically enjoy.
And do you like this one?
I do.
Good, great. What about driving?
This is
really
a great example.
Okay, so explain what happened there.
Oh my gosh, every time I attempt to accelerate on a hill, it does nothing for like a terrifying 5 seconds while traffic approaches me, and then it goes way too fast.
So it feels like 5 seconds, it's probably less, but that was a perfect example of a trait that we've noticed in this specific vehicle, which is acceleration off the line being absolutely abysmal. I don't want to say dangerous.
It is not reassuring at all.
This engine has a variable geometry turbocharger, and I thought, is that thing broken? I thought something is wrong with this engine. Am I the only one who's experiencing this? Are we the only people? And the answer is no. There are other people who have noted that issue, and it's specific to the all-wheel drive version, because the all-wheel drive version has that 7-speed dual clutch transmission instead of the standard 8-speed. And also I suspect it might have to do with a little bit of extra weight because the all-wheel drive version is heavier. But if you had the 8-speed version with front-wheel drive, everything I've read is it's so zippy off the line.
Really?
Yeah. So this is a specific, I would say, problem with the dual clutch version.
Once I'm at speed, it's fine. I feel like it has enough power.
Leaving our house, just trying to go up the hill, literally floored, nothing happens, and I'm like, is it broken? And then eventually it's like, creeps away. I have a suspicion that might be because the dual clutch doesn't like to slip, unlike a torque converter in the 8-speed automatic transmission. I'm getting overly technical here. The other thing I will note though, that dual clutch, clunky, and I felt like an actual like clunk.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
Moving beyond powertrain, we've got some wonderful windy roads up here on the mountain. How do you feel with the steering?
It's really light and easy to turn, which is good, but I also feel like I'm having to turn it too much.
Like you want a quicker ratio?
Perhaps.
The steering, in my experience, it feels fairly precise, but yeah, I think that is kind of a slow ratio. You had to do, pretty far turn there.
Since it's all curvy roads up here, it's a good workout.
Yeah, work those guns. While you get buff from turning so far, I will point out that the all-wheel drive version has a multi-link rear suspension, while the front-wheel drive version has a torsion beam. So in terms of handling prowess and ride quality, all-wheel drive would be the superior choice. But again, the power delivery is so abysmal, I would choose the front-wheel drive with its inferior suspension.
Wow.
Overall ride quality, just like riding around town, what do you think?
It seems fine.
But, the big question with you always is visibility. Any visibility issues?
The visibility is great. There's huge windows. This pillar is a little bit in my field of view, and it's a bit thick.
Yeah, but we say that about every car, so those are like those free letters that you get when you're playing Wheel of Fortune. Is it RS&T or something like that?
Not every car.
Almost every car. So what do you think? Are you feeling an emotion driving the VW Taos?
I'll admit my primary emotion is fear based on that attempt to accelerate from a stop.
But you are feeling an emotion. Grant me that.
I am feeling the emotion of fear, yes.
Yes. So you have a muddled emotional landscape to explore.
But is it family friendly?
What do you think about the interior space of the Volkswagen Taos?
It seems super generous in both rows and the cargo area.
Totally. It is much larger than a typical subcompact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it almost approaches the dimensions very, very close to its larger sibling, the Volkswagen Tiguan. I can sit very comfortably in the back, a ton of legroom, ton of headroom, and you're right, cargo space is huge. For those who count numbers, it's 24.9 cubic feet in this, and if you go front wheel drive, which we definitely would, you get 3 extra cubes.
Sweet.
Radical. What about getting kiddo in and out?
The ride height of this is low enough that it was really easy for her to climb in and out.
And then the latch situation?
I didn't know what to call them because I hadn't seen this before, where it's a raised bit of plastic that does not come off.
Yeah, you had to actually throw it out to Instagram to get people to weigh in on how you should call it.
I think the winning name is restrainer container.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Right?
If it rhymes, it's true.
But the latch points are very easy to access. I like that the bit of plastic stays attached so you don't lose it. Thumbs up. Yay!
I'm going to give you one minor downside in terms of family friendliness.
What is it?
No power hatch.
Yes! And I didn't realize I had become so spoiled and used to that. I could not figure out how to open the hatch.
I literally had to tell you twice. You were opening it the first day we had it, and I'm like, it's not a power hatch. And then today, again, I'm like, it's still not a power hatch.
I didn't believe you.
What I least like about this car is that there's only one power thingy.
Oh, there's only one power outlet back there?
That's a good observation.
That is a good observation. If you had a little brother or a sister, both mommy and daddy would be very tired right now, and you guys would have to fight over who got the power outlet. Thank heaven you're an only child.
Yep.
So I was going to mention this in the remarks section, but the only USB ports in the vehicle are USB-C, not the USB-A that we're all used to. So BYOD, bring your own dongle.
Oh, dongle.
Hello. While we drive into the sun, I'll offer one more complaint, which is that the standard suite of driver assist that you expect to find on almost all modern vehicles, lane keeping assist, forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking, perhaps blind spot warning, all of those features are optional on the VW Taos. I'm not inclined to be offended, but I actually kind of take offense in that. I always point out the Honda Civic or the Toyota Corolla have those, but most of the competitors, you can get those on most subcompact SUVs for much, much cheaper, either as standard equipment or on much lower trims. That's a pretty clunky operation there. Well, we know the Taos can operate in clunky fashion, but is it
Mountain friendly?
Because we live in the mountains, we always think about mountain friendliness. Is this thing mountain friendly?
If you get all-wheel drive, you also get the difficult to accelerate from a start powertrain.
Yes, that is absolutely true. All-wheel drive, especially on this trim, you also get a much larger wheel package. So this one comes with 19s, and because of the limited sidewall, that's not conducive to, let's say, driving on dirt or craggly surfaces. But when you get all-wheel drive, you get this little off-road page, which doesn't really have much useful information. I mean, my elevation, sure, that's fine. But yeah, you're not actually going to take this thing off-road. Yes, you could definitely use a vehicle like this in the mountains and you'd be just fine. But for our purposes, is this mountain-friendly?
Not for us.
Not for us. And now, my favorite segment.
Sweet tea potpourri.
there's a standard 6.5-inch screen, and then this is the optional 8-inch screen, standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it is wireless in this car, which was a little bit befuddling because the other day I was plugged in and I expected my phone to be on, and then it wirelessly connected your phone.
Aha, you got sweetied.
I got sweetied, and trying to go from one phone to the other proved a little bit more difficult than my feeble brain could quite comprehend. But overall, I mean, how did you find the infotainment?
I found it simple and easy to understand. I like that it's a touch screen. I like the categories they have for buttons. I liked using it.
I do have one complaint about the screen though, and it relates to the backup camera. It's just a little low res. I think it could be higher res. Now, I think we might split ways here a little bit, but I was a little bit meh on the digital gauge cluster. What do you think?
I like it. That's a feature I associate with luxury brands, so I thought it was kind of cool to have it in this car, and I like that you can quite easily adjust what is displayed in there and display the navigation if you wish.
That is an astute observation. That feature began in Audi as their digital cockpit and has found its way into the Volkswagen lineup. I'd probably skip that. Mostly, like, if you got rid of that and put some analog gauges in here and gave me all that safety equipment,
That's
I would
more logical.
Much prefer that, but yeah, that's kind of cool.
One thing I did want to mention about usability is that the way the gear selector lights up in the bright sunlight, it was really hard to see whether I was in reverse or drive or neutral, and most people would probably just remember that, but my memory is crap, so I needed to show me clearly.
Any issues with seat comfort?
None. I think this is quite comfortable.
Great, quick segment. I've got a weird one. The dash nook. I love having a place to put stuff on the dash. That's so convenient.
That seems great.
They have designed it where there's like literally a ramp. Like where it just, if you go quickly to the right, things will like shoot off. Ask me how I know.
Oh,
you
dear.
might not experience this at the speeds you drive, but
Nope.
if you put something you want, like a phone in here, it's gonna go whee.
I hope you didn't need that.
I hope I didn't need that either. Can I offer a suggestion for which trim to buy?
Yes, please.
So I would suggest the SE trim. So with the SE, you get that 8-inch screen. You get keyless access, so you don't have to reach into your pocket and unlock the vehicle. You just touch the handle and unlock it. You also get wireless phone charging and a power driver's seat and heated front seats. If any of those are like make or break, then you have to go to the SE. However, the SE is a $4,200 jump from the base model. It costs over 27 grand, which is wild. And then you have to add another $895 on top of that for safety features, all those driver assists I keep complaining about, that really should come standard. So you're looking at more than 28 grand to have what I would say is a fairly basic suite of features on a modern vehicle.
Is this cheap or does it cost a lot?
That's a good question. It seems like it should be cheap because it is a subcompact SUV, but if you compare it to the rest of the competitive set, it's actually quite expensive, especially when you start adding in features that you would want. And listing out that subcompact SUV competitive set, you've got names like the Honda HR-V, which is very roomy and small, the Mazda CX-30, I bet you'd really like driving that one again.
I bet I would.
Kia Seltos is another popular one. It's got a very long powertrain warranty, which is good because I've seen a couple of recalls on it already. Oh, and the big one that's going to be coming really soon is the new Toyota Corolla Cross. I'm blinded again. I'm blinded by your arrival, Corolla Cross. We welcome you, subcompact overlord. And I'll bet that comes with the standard Toyota Safety Sense suite of driver assists at a very reasonable cost. Basically, if you want more features at a lower price, examine the competitive set. Well, I think we've pretty well covered it. The only question that remains, would Evie drive it? Sweetie, yes, no, maybe so. Would you drive a Volkswagen Taos?
I would not. A, I can't pronounce the name. B, it's not competitively priced. And C, that powertrain.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty rare to just find like a straight up game killing attribute in a car. But yeah, I would just legit not buy this with this powertrain.
Wow.
Well, it's not really a wow thing. You said it too. What do you think? Is Evie crazy for denying the majesty of the Volkswagen Taos? If so, tell us in the comments. If you'd like to see what we're doing between YouTube videos, give us a follow over on Instagram. I think we've done a great job here, everybody. The only thing that remains is the awkward goodbye.
See you next Tuesday.